Hi, my name is Jess. Welcome to Books Past Bedtime. Today we are going to be doing my January plan with me, but first I'm going to do a flip through of my December pages just so you can see what I was up to last month. Starting off, we have our cover page and a little overview calendar, my to be read page and reading schedule, my December wrap-up page, and my page tracker page. I filmed this in the middle of December, which is why my page tracker isn't filled out completely yet. And the same for these book club pages, that's why they're not filled out. I have my 2 pages for the Percy Jackson read-along for Battle of the Labyrinth and the Last Olympian, as well as my page for In a Holidays, which is our page turner book club pick for December. Then I had a spread for the DCG Readathon, which was so much fun. As you can see, I completed all the books except for the last one, which is Get a Life, Chloe Brown. I plan to finish that in January. Then I had a spread for the 12 Days of Bookmas, which is a readathon that is still currently happening, and I'm still currently working on that spread. And this is my habit tracker for the month. I have been loving doing these, and I feel like it keeps me on track, so I am going to continue that in January as well. And then finally, I just have some to-do pages. I had a monthly to-do page, some Christmas movies that I wanted to watch, and then just some weekly/daily spreads to finish out the month. And now on to January. So for January, I decided to go with this scarf theme, so I doodled some scarves on my cover page, and you can just see me drawing them here. I'm outlining them in black, and then I will go back in later with some blue colors to add some accents. These scarf designs are really simple. They're just long rectangles, and I drew a different pattern on each one, and then at the bottom I added some fringe so they look a little bit more like scarves. They are very easy to draw. I'm not very artistic, so if you're looking for something easy to doodle for these cold months, this is a good option. Then at the bottom, I just wrote January in cursive and traced it in black to finish off my cover page. And then on the opposite page, I am going to list out my goals for 2021. I will talk more about those now. So while I'm making my goals page, I wanted to hop in here and just explain a little bit more in detail what my reading goals for 2021 are. So I try to keep my goals relatively simple, things that I knew I could accomplish, but also that would improve and diversify my reading in the new year. And so my very first goal that I set was to read 100 books. So this past year, I read over 180 books. That was the most books I've ever read in a year. I don't really know what 2021 will bring. I think I will probably be working more than I did in 2020. So I don't want to set the goal at 150 or 200 books and then not be able to reach that and be disappointed in myself. 100 is kind of what I've started setting my goal at every year for the past couple years, and I have achieved that for the past 3-4 years. So I think 100 books is a good goal to put for myself. It's a little bit of a reach, but it's not so much that I'm going to be stressed out all the time about meeting it. I think it's pretty much what I read naturally. My next goal is, I set this goal last year, but I do want to read more nonfiction books. Specifically, I would like to try and read one nonfiction book a month for a total of 12 throughout the year. I kept saying throughout 2020 that I wanted to read more nonfiction, so I wanted to actually make like an actionable check off the list kind of goal for 2021. So that's why I want to try and read one nonfiction book a month, and I mostly want to read stories that will broaden my horizons, teach me things, diversify the stories that I'm consuming. So that is my goal for reading more nonfiction books. I also would really like to make an effort to read a higher percentage of books by authors of color. I haven't done my 2020 stats officially yet, so I'm not sure what percentage of POC authors I read from in 2020, but whatever that figure is, I want that to be higher in 2021, so that's what that goal means. My fourth goal refers to book purchasing. I really would like to make a conscious effort to reduce the amount of books that I buy from Amazon. Right now, most of the books I buy do come from Amazon, so I want to make more of an effort to shop at independent bookstores, to buy used, to go thrifting for books, that kind of thing. And I don't want to totally cut Amazon out of my life because I just don't think that's very plausible for me personally. I want to try and make an effort that 50% or less of the books that I buy in 2021 should be coming from Amazon. I also really want to participate in Kayla over at Books and Lala, her Buzzwordathon. She's doing that for the whole entire year of 2021, and there's one word each month, and I want to read a book that matches that word for each month. So I would like to keep up with that throughout the year and complete that by the end of 2021. I also want to make a conscious effort to reduce my owned TBR. There will be a video coming out in January from me where I'm going to go through every single book that I own that is on my physical TBR, and however many that ends up being, I want that number to be smaller at the end of 2021 than it is at the beginning of 2021. So that doesn't mean I want to stop buying books, because that's not very realistic for me, and I don't really have a problem with buying books, I don't feel like. So my real goal is just to try and read more than I'm bringing in. That's my ultimate goal, so that's what number 6 on the list means. And then my very last goal is to DNF more books. I really have a problem DNFing books. I probably have DNF'd maybe 8 to 10 books since I started tracking my reading, and in that time I've read like hundreds, like 600, 700 books, and I've only DNF'd like 6 to 10. So I really would like to DNF more books because I just feel like my time is very valuable and it shouldn't be spent reading shitty books. And I just have the issue where it's like I've already dedicated time to it. I feel like I should just dedicate that little bit more time so I can add it to my total. But in the grand scheme of things, like I would rather have those 4 hours back to do something else than to read a shitty book just to increase my read by number. I think this will take a while as I'm very ingrained in my habits, but I would like to make a conscious effort to DNF more books. So those are my 2020 goals. I just wanted to explain them a little bit more while I'm filling this out. Let me know if you like these little talking bits in the video, because I don't know. On the next page, I'm going to fill out my January TBR. These are all the books that I hope to get to in January. This might be a little bit ambitious, especially because I'm going to be going back to work for the first time in a while. I have a new job, so I'm not quite sure if I'm going to be able to read all of these, but I'm going to try my hardest. I split it into categories as usual. My categories this month are buddy reads or book club picks, books for videos, and extra books that I hope to get to, but won't necessarily put in my schedule. I'm actually going to go more in depth on my TBR in a video coming out later this week. I'm going to combine my December wrap-up and my January TBR into one video, and that should be out Wednesday, I believe. So keep an eye out for that. I am going to skip talking about my TBR here, but for now you can get a little sneak peek. Then on the opposite page, we are going to create our reading schedule as usual. This month was pretty standard. I just numbered 1 through 31 down the side of the page for all the days of the month, and then I think my page total per day worked out to be about 192 pages, and so I didn't do anything complicated, just broke out the books by that page count and went from there. I also forgot when I was doing my TBR to write out my 2-letter acronym, so I'm going back through my TBR and doing that now so that I can have a little acronym to put in my reading schedule to make things easier, and so I have something to reference back to. The next page is going to be for my January wrap-up. This is the same as I've been doing it the past couple of months, really simple. I just label the top of the page, and then in a few moments I'm going to create a chart. It's a very simple 3-column chart. 1 column for the dates that I read the book, 1 column for the title, and 1 column for the rating. And then I am just going to go in a little bit later and use those blue and gray highlighters that I used when I created the cover page and highlight every other line, just to give it a little color, a little flavor, a little fun. Then on the opposite page, I'm going to create my page tracker spread. This again is the same as it's been the last couple of months. I just make a really simple 2-axis graph, so I can make a bar chart tracking the pages I read each and every day. So along the vertical axis, I have the days of the month, 1 through 31 for every day of January, and then along the bottom, every box equals 20 pages, and so my graph goes up to like 400, 460. This works perfect for me, and I just love knowing how many pages I read each day so I can see my average and whether or not I'm being consistent. On the next page, I'm creating a spread for Invisible Girl by Lisa Jewell, which is our page turner book club pick for January. I just like having some extra space to write my thoughts out for the book so that I can be prepared for the discussion later on in the month. To create this spread, I just title it, create a rough box outlining the page, then I put in a place for the dates that I read the book, my rating of the book, and my thoughts on the book. On the opposite page, I'm creating a bingo board spread for the Bookworm's New Year Readathon, which is taking place through the whole month of January and is hosted by some lovely people, including my friend Noelle over at Noelle 7 Pages, Mindy at Mindy's Book Journey, Lizzie at Literary Lizzie, and David from David's Book Reviews. I'm very excited to be participating in this readathon. There are a total of 9 prompts that you can choose from on the bingo board. These include a book you meant to read in 2020, a 2021 reading goal, the physical book left unread the longest on your TBR, reread a favorite book from 2011, a book that's at the top of your TBR, a book you're intimidated by, a book written by an author of color, a book from a different genre than you typically read, and a debut novel. Since filming this, I've decided to do a X out on the board, so I am going to go for the 4 corners in the middle to create an X. So that is my goal, but I will talk more about that in my TBR and wrap-up video coming soon. Also, since filming this, I have decided to participate in an additional 2, maybe 3 other readathons in the month of January. So if you're interested in the readathons that I'm participating, definitely check out that video. It will be up soon. On the next page, I'm going to be creating my habit tracker. I'm going to be doing it the exact same way I did it last month. I did not mind having to turn my journal to get the horizontal view, so I went ahead and just kept it horizontal because it is nice that it only takes up 1 single page. So I just make a very simple 2-axis chart. On the vertical axis are the habits that I'm going to be tracking, and along the horizontal axis are the days of the month, 1 through 31, because again, there are 31 days in January, if you didn't know. And then throughout the month, if I do that habit that day, I will just put a little colored dot. I'm going to alternate colors, blue and gray, so that I can clearly see when I'm looking at each row how consistently I do that singular habit. And also vertically, I can see how many habits I completed in a day. I really like this setup, it works for me, and I am going to continue doing it for the time being. And then on this final page, I am just going ahead and titling it January To Do, and here I'm going to write out my monthly to-do list, but I am going to do that at a later date because it was like Christmas Eve when I filmed this and I wanted to be done. And so that's going to be it. Let's go ahead and do our final flip through before we go on our way. First, here we have our cover page and my 2021 goals sheet. Then we have my January TBR and January reading schedule. My January wrap-up and page tracker. My spread for Invisible Girl by Lisa Jewell. My spread for the New Year's Bookworm Readathon, that's not right, I'm sorry. I don't remember what order those words go in, but those are the right words. All the information for that readathon, by the way, will be linked in the description down below, so definitely check that out if you're interested in participating. And then finally, we have my habit tracker page and my January to-do list page. So that's going to be all for me today. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell notification. You can also follow me on Instagram and Twitter. My Goodreads is also linked down below if you want to follow me and see what I'm reading on a day-to-day basis. But yeah, that's going to be it for today. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!